Hello, everybody. James Tuttle here, connecting any and every topic to the resurrection of Jesus. I'm doing well on my ADHD treatment. It's supplements. Now I just have to practice learning new skills and whatnot. I was actually going to do something on ADHD today, how it is very similar to self preservation. But I figured since there's a new movie out I just saw, I would rather talk about that to stay up to date on that. And that's actually part of the hard part with ADHD is that I don't always follow through on everything I want to do, and I just can't get it done. I can't find the motivation, and therefore, if I want to post on anything that's more timely, I just can't. And this happens a lot, and hopefully this treatment will change that. So this movie is actually a Netflix movie, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. He's a Spanish director. I know he did Pan's Labyrinth. Some people actually wanted him to direct The Hobbit. But yeah, that movie was a disaster. That trilogy was a disaster. But anyway, I've never seen a Guillermo del Toro film. I rented Pan's Labyrinth from the library, but never actually got to watching it. He's very trippy, very surreal, likes all kinds of monsters and stuff, and this is no exception. It's a very fresh, original take on the story, which actually started out as a novel. Now, what's really, really, really weird for me is the fact that the 1940 Disney version has so many gospel parallels to it, and this one, not as much. I mean, it's right up there, actually, I'd say, with Sleeping Beauty in terms of how well it parallels the gospel. This one, not so much, but there's stuff I could really, really say about how narrative points towards our desire for God. And what really, really, really stuck out for me with this version is the whole idea of wanting to be good. Pinocchio wants to be a good boy. And ultimately, he does feel there's a standard he can't really reach set by Geppetto. And some of the changes they made, they give Geppetto more of a backstory that wasn't even in the book or any other adaptation. And he messes up. And what's really fascinating is there's this whole idea that the reason he messes up is because he doesn't know any better. And I think this is a lot of how sin works. Paul says, the good I want to do, I do it not. And there's also this verse, there's a way that seems right unto a man, but it leads to death. I can't remember the exact wording, but I know it's somewhere in Proverbs. Anyway, man really wants to do good. Everybody wants to do good. Doesn't matter who you are. You want to do good. The problem is, we look, the good way to most people seems to be to try to find a life in the world. And what was I going to say? So but the good way is to believe in God for eternal life. And this actually gets to me some notes on parenting, because I could really, really relate to Pinocchio. When I was a kid, I would, my parents would be mad at for something where I honestly did not know any better. And we got to think, okay, so how do we help kids with their decisions in the world? And there's ones where you say, do this, do that, because. And that could actually hugely backfire, create some huge problems. And then there is actually something where you say why. You explain to them why we do stuff, okay. And then there's actually a psychologist I found on YouTube who said, um, here's the 3 rules you teach kids to live by. And this is closer to the heart of God. Number 1, respect yourself, respect others, respect property, respect authorities, okay? Yes. But what God says is those are fruits. Okay? Believe in God for eternal life. That's the one rule. And as we believe in God for eternal life, we're going to love ourselves, we're going to love others, we're going to respect property, and respect authority. Respect my authority. Anyway, so that when we help kids understand like the practical things of the world, how do we eat, manners, all kinds of stuff like that. We help them think in terms of what shows love and what doesn't, not just to others but to ourselves. Because honestly, if we make loving others a law into our hearts, it could lead people to not taking care of themselves and really burning themselves out and all kinds of stuff like that. So we need to take care of ourselves as much as we take care of others. It's that analogy of the airplane will tell you to put on if the oxygen masks come down, put yours on before you help someone out. Anyway, because ultimately God's our source of life, and if God's our source of life, then we're free to do something for ourselves and do for others as we so please. And we're not beholden to either way. Okay, so we have that. It's how do you handle, our desire to do good, but there's also a sense of immortality and the fact that we have limited time with the people around us. And it even says to be immortal would to be a curse because you would lose the people close to you. And really, God knows actually that feeling. I mean, that's why God is willing to give his eternal life as a free gift. So the people he loves can have eternal life. And they rejected that, and he didn't want to live forever without them. And so that's why he sent Jesus to die and rise again, then to send him to the right hand of the Father, really so that we could believe in God's gift of eternal life, and he could spend forever with us, and he wouldn't have to lose us. And that's really what I have to say about the new Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio film. I really, really love it. If you're looking for something good on Netflix, as far as for kids, there might be some objectionable stuff. There are sequences of war, some heavy themes of life and death, weird afterlife stuff. But ultimately, I'm not the one. I don't really make judgments about what kids should and shouldn't watch. That's up to you what you let your kids watch. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a fresh, new take on a classic story. Quite a breath of fresh air. Coming up is the new Puss in Boots film. I love the first one. I might watch that, and I probably will watch that in theaters. And if I have anything to say about that one, then I will definitely do a review on that one. I'm James Tuttle, and that's good news.